Wait, so you're 2.8 bill at 2.01%, but then 2.6 bill is 2.97%. Holy, that's so close. Only 200 mil difference. It makes sense. Yeah, that's a difference of like having like a proper team 3 or team 5 or something. Okay, look at this. This is my mini sky. This is mini sky. 3.1 bill, we got 1.2%. And yeah, like my team 4 and team 5 like was 245 mil and 202 mil. My best team was like a 1.2 bill and then 800 and 655. Holy, that's crazy. 4.1 bill is 0.3%. 4.4 bill is ranked 133 on C. Top 1% is hard. 3.6 bill 1.1%. 3.3 is 0.83% NA. On C is 1%, 3.6. That's crazy. After the top 50, C is a little bit more competitive if we're going by percentage. And the reason for that is because there's less people in C than in NA. And also there's a bit more competitive upper end players on C. But the top players on NA is typically just like more competitive, about as similar competitive to JP or KR. NA is easy. Friends 3.1 bill, barely 2.9. Casual global 2.7, 184. Yeah. So here is what I was gonna talk about also. I actually had the chance to get top 10 in NA. Yeah, because Riven registered his like probably like in the last 20 minutes or something. So technically when I got my rank, I was top 10. However, I knew that Riven hasn't registered yet. Yeah, I had that decision. Yeah, and I was like, is there someone who hasn't registered it for top 10? Riven is missing. The video mentioned reason or not. So I could still, because like what happened was my guillotine died in the last 20 seconds. This team was like annoying, and I'll be honest, like I feel like I should have readjusted my team. I had to swap my squad 3 a little bit with squad 5 to kind of just like work around with that. Also, if you guys didn't know, right, I did post like a video right on the no healer shotgun team. I literally was doing my runs like on the last hour, so that's why I couldn't like do things. Yeah, and so my guillotine died, and like I paused, like you can see here, I paused at 0-0. This is in the raid. Paused at 0-0. I was like, god dang it. So I was like, oh, I have the choice, because I could like really get that extra 20 mil if I just lasted that whole run, because my guillotine died on this. And I was like, fuck it, because the reason, another thing was like I saw that Konto was there, so I would fall on Konto, and I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'm not gonna reset, because I was like, all right, let me chill with Konto. So yeah, we're just right next to each other. The thing is, like, Miyu, come on, Miyu needed to score 200 mil, actually just like 140 mil, 150 mil more. It would have been up there. It was missing that 150. One thing was, another option that I think some people have opted into was Scarlet, because Scarlet has such a huge multiplier, and if you have like good elemental damage on your Scarlet, it could be enough for Scarlet to one-shot the glass slipper. If you're on full burst and Scarlet was hitting, it was actually enough for her to one-shot the glass slipper. So yeah, people used to be so. Here's the thing for me. So I resetted my 2B and I skilled it back up to level 10. And then I was like, no. And then I ended up on my final run. I ended up just not using it anyways. I'm like, god dang it, dude. Holy. Now we have brick for next SR. No mats for collab unit. Yeah, I got inted, but at the same time, like, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna chill next to Konto anyways. So I decided to just chill next to Kanto. I basically had the option to get to top 10. I knew it. Like I could have just reset it because I just messed up like one the run. Oh, another thing, right? Like this is the shotgun run team. I'll be honest with you, this shotgun team actually has like a lot of mistakes I did. Probably lost like probably 50 mil with just like the mistakes I did here. If you guys could figure it out, you'll see it. But like there were times for like, for example, some of them were like me playing it super safe. And but the reason for that is because what you guys don't realize is this run took me an hour. And yeah, and it's just because of the RNG. If you guys noticed here also, like I was pausing a lot. For shotgun teams, you had to watch out for the buffs, make sure that you're getting like the proper buffs and stuff. Yeah, it took me an hour, and this was, I would say, a pretty bad performance in my opinion. There were some mistakes that I did, like for example, when Maxwell was about to get shot. Let's see, did I guard here on maid privity? Oh yeah, see, like there were times where I tried to guard to switch to maid privity because I knew that the laser is coming, and I wasn't sure if maid privity was the one that's gonna get hit, so I had to swap on her. And you will actually see it throughout multiple times in this run actually, where I swapped to maid privity just covering ahead of time, which again, part of yeah, I think it is this one is another, let's see, it might have been, let's see here, yeah, oh yeah, so right there, yeah, let's see, shooting, yeah, see, I hold there because I was like, it's coming, and I wasn't sure if my maid privity, and in hindsight I should have known, like because the way this team works was it was juggling the hits between Maxwell, maid privity, and Bunny Soda. It actually would have been okay also if it was juggling just with maid privity and Bunny Soda. If you can notice, there's like a bunch of like cover that's left still, so I think like it could have been okay. The reason for that is because like when it's on neutral, my Maxwell had the highest attack, and then when it's full bursting, it's either maid privity or Bunny Soda that has the highest attack. So it's like switching between these three. That's kind of, yeah, so that's like the trick on it, and the way to do it, and it's really difficult for a lot of people because like if you have uneven investments, it's gonna feel different. However, I think it's possible, like for example, if your Maxwell has the highest attack, it should have been okay, because the way it works is like Tove has an insane attack buff for the shotgun, so whenever maid privity or Bunny Soda burst, as long as maid privity and Bunny Soda's investments or core difference is not too far off from one another, they will basically flip-flop on that, and then whenever there's no burst, Maxwell will be getting it. So it's possible for a lot of people that has that to be able to do that. But yeah, you were juggling the damage between these three. That's the shotgun team, and a lot of the top players have used the shotgun team as well. The thing that made me realize something is like, take a look at what I did here. Basically, how I managed to do this was, the first one is, this is the most important one. I bursted with Maxwell. This is basically because I was talking with Kanto, and like, yeah, we can't do it, or at least our Maxwell cannot do it. There was two ways I could one-shot it with my Maxwell. One, I could crit, so I could be crit fishing with my Maxwell to one-shot the glass slipper, or two, I could make it more guaranteed and use Maxwell's burst. So in reality, if I actually decided to mold more, I could have been crit fishing for that Maxwell shot, but I did not, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take the safer, like more secure route. And see, here's the thing, I already took the safer, more secure route, and it still took me an hour to run this shotgun team. I swear to God, if you no healer shotgun team is like it's a whole nother beast, okay? Like, because other than like checking, making sure you had the buffs and everything, it's like executing it is a pain. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, so I had to pause a lot, try to think about it. Here's the thing. When I was using the shotgun team without Maxwell's buff, I wasn't destroying this, but with Maxwell's buff, it was actually easier to destroy that arrow. And I think the main reason was just like that arrow has just like insane defense. That's what it takes to be number one. Yeah, I didn't wish to mold more, and again, I was like strapped for time. Like I said, my run is just on the last day, it's just it depends on what I feel. And so the thing is, I woke up and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna run. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, I could do this on the shotgun team. And so I was like, all right, fun shit. And another thing, I forgot. There was another thing that I forgot. So I did the whole run with my Ein at that 7, and I was like, wait a minute. And then also the affection was only at like +4, and also the armor was at +3. So like I was like, oh my god, are you, oh my god. So I was like, dude, I might even try. Yeah, exactly. See, so that's when I decided, alright, shit. Okay, I'm just gonna alright, fine. I'll run more. It did end up being pretty good because I went from 2.62 build to 2.66. I feel like I could have gotten more, but again, I was strapped for time, and in my mind, just like, all right, I got more damage than I did, so I was like, yeah, whatever. Another thing that I want to talk about was the big parses. Chat, take a look at this. Take a look. Holy. So Kato and I was saying like, there has to be someone that could get 4 bill, but that was requiring like pretty much like fully overload, insane overloads on the 3. And I guess like we didn't saw someone that did that. Hey, take a look at this, right? Like who suggested these team comps? Look at that, the volume Maxwell crown with Exia, and then like D killer wife. That's also what I ended up using for my team one. I only did, yeah, I did 2.66 at best for this team. But hey, look at that. Oh man, it's as if like there was a guide that says, oh, that would be the top electric DPS. Dang. And I was like looking at it, I actually tried to look at like the other guides. Nobody else said that. No Pride win, not even like Nikke.gg didn't see. Nobody said that best team. I'm like, wait, what? Like it was literally the best electric team. And then their guides didn't even say it. There's a crown, but it's like it's the privity. I'm like, and Dorothy, and it's like I feel like some people just like emphasize too much on the infinite ammo in the sense that like you're using Dorothy. Treasureless X. Yeah, well the thing is like, see, this is, they accounted for treasure here. Extra being used here is the treasure version, but they're using Biscuit. And I guess like, yeah, I mean, you have to understand that there's a lot of synergy behind this, and also let me explain why D is better than like say volume or Dala in this, because like that's why you're seeing the top DPS here. You see like a lot of the top DPS as using D killer wife, and like some people didn't decided to use their Exia somewhere else or different, or they didn't have the Exia treasure, and so they had to stick with the volume Maxwell. But the D killer wife is pretty much like used here, and then there's some that use like volume, for example. But the reason, and Dala, so like the most common probably is Dala, because like some people decided to use volume for their team. So that's what Kira ended up doing on his team, because he used Dala in here because he ended up like using it. But see, that's the thing, like none of the guides like talked about it. But anyways, the reason why D is used here is because of the burst cooldown that she provides, and in particular D can give you almost like a half extra burst compared to volume. And with Dala, it's actually less. Dala is good if you decide to having to use like D or volume somewhere else. But if you have alternatives, or so for example, most people that decided to use D or volume as the buffer or cooldown reduction is because they decided to use Dorothy instead for their last team. And so D will basically end up like making you burst that extra. And so again, the advantage of D is like you can basically get like a half burst more than volume, and volume gets also another half burst more than Dala. And that's why actually Dala to volume, actually it's almost like a full burst. Like with Dala, it's 12 point something, 12 and a half or something like that of a burst. For volume, you can get 13.4. That's in the shooting range, but like in practice, at least for me, when I was like using it on the solar raid, it was a bit more closer to like actually 13 rather than getting that extra burst. And with D, I can get that extra burst on Summer Niece. So I start burst with Ein, and then I end the burst with Summer Niece. And I think I was getting like 13.5 bursts. So I was getting like half burst extra. And those, and I think like the burst timing was just like way better compared to volume. And those half bursts does end up like being pretty good. And I mean, on top of like D also just kind of giving extra attack damage. Meanwhile, like volume was primarily just giving like critical, but it's not even, almost like volume's most purpose was just like CDR, and if you use volume, but at least D has like that extra attack damage buff that was benefiting the team, even though it's not Pierce. But yeah, there's that reason why a lot of people and why a lot of the bigger parses that you saw was using D, and that's because of the cooldown reduction that she pretty much like provides. It's very huge. And for the top level players, as you can see, right, like for example, actually here's another thing that probably made see the difference here. I was only using MLB Ein. So I was talking to Kato, and like if I actually had core 7 Ein, I would have gotten an extra 100 mil. And actually he was saying that it's much more closer to like probably 12-14% more. And he was saying that I could have broken the 7 bill. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm inted by core 7. MLB to core 7. Okay, because to give you guys an idea on the damage distribution, let me show you the damage distribution of Ein right there. And that's my MLB Ein. Yeah, and because the boss has so much defense, the duplicates would have actually worked more. Yeah, so I could have broken I could have broken the 7 bill with that team that I was using if only I core 7 Ein. But my greedy ass is like, you know what, I mean, she's a normal unit, we'll get more copies on her when we're pulling. There's like wish list also. My Ein is just MLB. Oh my god, my team damage is 50 percentile. That is so low. Oh my god, wait, I'm inted by Crown and Ein. Legit, I'm actually inted by Crown being core 3 and Ein being beat MLB. It's against all other top 50 in the world. Yeah. It's against other top 50. So this is 53 percentile against all other top 50 in the world, basically. But yeah. Actually, oh my god. Dude, look at the reds. The red Parses. Oh my god, this is great Parse. I feel so... Oh my god. The gray Parse. Holy. But here's the thing though. My CP. Take a look at the CP. It makes sense. My CP is 20 percentile. Yeah, higher equals more investment / duplicates. My CP is at the like bottom, and I got the 50 percentile. That's the thing, and I think that's what you can look for if your CP is lower and like your percentile damage percentile is higher. So the CP percentile is lower and the damage percentile is higher. That means like you're doing good. Like okay, like you probably have good elementals or whatever, right? Sounds like you could have gotten 7 build pretty easily. Yes, Konto was saying it. Yes, he was saying that if only I core 7 my Ein, I would have gotten 7 build. But yeah, Kira takes number 1 once again. Yo, finally keep getting that NA pride. Let's go. Top generated score is 9.31 bill. Oh yeah. So let's see what's the top combo right now. I feel like it's the one with D. Oh, you have the screenshot? Yeah, it's not loading right now for me. Let me see yours. The top generated score was the one with D. Oh, and then using Red Hood with B, 2B, and Mast. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, so in case you guys are wondering like how this team really performs, this one, the Mast, you might realize that only Mast is the DPS there, and then now you're gonna wonder, it's like, how does it last on the second QTE? What they actually would do, and what I did also, and it worked when I tried it before, was you use Red Hood's Burst 1. You save Red Hood's Burst 1 on that second QTE, so that Mask can actually able to like solo that QTE phase. It's actually, yeah, so it's actually doable that way. So you just use volume constantly, and then yeah, it's a pretty good setup. And then the shotgun team, yeah, this makes sense. And then yeah, litter with SBS and Alice, and then oh yeah, I see this. Yeah, Scarlet. Konto, this is Konto's team, and like he said that like, oh yeah, Helm can destroy it. My Helm was able to destroy it, but he said his was inconsistent. But like if you have Scarlet can actually destroy it also, because like Dorothy parts damage buff, damage taken debuff from Rosanna, and then the attack buff from Privity also, and the attack damage buff from Helm. Scarlet can actually solo kill the glass slippers herself also. Was my Helm OL'd? Yeah, my Helm was OL'd actually. So mine was consistent that Helm can do it with this team, not Scarlet. I used Guillotine. When I was using Helm, mine was consistent. For Konto's situation, he used like Scarlet and it was enough. Or yeah, and this one is to be whale tank strat. Yeah, so this is another tank strat to be. And if anything though, however, you could also use like Red Hood's burst too for one of the bursts to haunt anyways. So that's also a possibility if your 2B was like tanking too much. Basically, I tried it, and as long as you have like a sniper rifle to help on the first phase, the 2B whale, it can survive the whole run. Like I tried it, but yeah, see, as you can see here, like that, dang, yeah, that's the killer wife on the electric team was the top DPS. Dang, look at that, exactly in our Ein guide. Dang, would you look at that? And technically the volume Maxwell is also an option here also. Bunny is forgotten. Wait a minute, you're right, I just realized that. See, the bunnies are gone.